Hi, this is Take the Mic with Felix. On today's video, I'll be talking about the impact of followership on leadership behavior. Leadership and followership are different sides of the same coins. Leaders need followers to execute their policies, and followers are a reflection of their leaders. Now, every coin has two faces. Now, if one face of a coin is removed, automatically that coin is no longer a coin. It's a counterfeit. So it's the same thing with leadership. If followership, let's say it's the followership face that is removed from the leadership coin, technically there's no leadership anymore. That leadership is counterfeit. It's not really a leader. So it is very, very important that as leaders, we realize and we come to the knowledge that the people who follow us are as critical to our success as much as what they will gain from following. Unfortunately, a lot of supposedly leaders forget that leadership and followership are supposed to work in tandem for whatever they do to succeed. Some people in position of leadership think that, well, because they are the leaders, they call the shots, so they just give the instruction, they don't care. No respect for the follower, and if things come up, well, you can't be bothered. If you do that as a leader, you will lose the loyalty of your follower. And once you lose the loyalty of your follower, trust me, you are walking by yourself. And at that point, technically, you are no longer a leader. Now, the relationship between the manager and the follower should be based on loyalty, respect, and fairness. Let's be honest. If a leader respects the follower and is fair in his dealing with the follower, he will get the loyalty of the follower without asking. Since we're talking about followership, maybe it's good for me to give you some kind of background. There are two types of followers. There's the active and there's the passive follower. The active follower is the type that decides to follow but is not doing it blindly. They follow the leader but not blindly. They criticize and may disagree with the leader's action when the need arises. But the important thing is that they participate actively in the organization. You will see them, they are all over the place. Meanwhile, the passive follower just follows the leader irrespective of whether what the leader is doing is right or wrong. This type of followers do not provide constructive criticism. And sometimes they are called sheep, passive, or dependent followers. Now, this type of followers, if you ask me, are a problem in the organization because what you get with this kind of follower is groupthink. Groupthink simply means they agree with everything. So long as this is what everybody wants to do, they agree with it. They just move on. Or the leader, because they have this kind of followers, end up with followers who provide homophily. Homophily is simply anything the leader does, it's fine. A follower must be there to provide constructive criticism. You do not have to agree with the leader. If you don't agree, set it down clearly. This is what I feel. I think this is not good or this is not good for the organization. Here is my suggestion on how to improve it. And there's no leader worth his salt that will refuse that kind of constructive criticism. Now, the relationship between leadership and followership all happen within the context of social exchange theory. This theory holds that a person's comparison levels will be used as a baseline for their future relationship. Let me give you an example. If a follower has worked with a leader in the past and finds that leader to be very hard, not bending, when he moves and is now working with a new leader, he's going to bring his perception and how he related to the former leader as a yardstick to judge this new leader. Now, the second part of this social exchange theory deals with costs and benefits. This tends to analyze how much a person is putting into a relationship. After all, if you remember, I had said in one of our videos that followership and leadership is a relationship, it's an interaction. Therefore, how much one is getting from it is the benefits. How much one is putting into it is the cost. So costs, again, is anything that the individual perceives as negative in the relationship. For example, if a follower feels that this relationship is making him spend a lot more money, for instance, he has to go borrow money, or maybe even the leader is borrowing money from the follower, or the follower just feels he or she is investing too much time in the relationship, or he feels is getting very little value from the relationship, then it considers this relationship to be too costly. However, if the positive traits outweigh the negative traits, then it considers the cost to hold no value. In other words, whatever cost I'm putting in is not a problem. Therefore, followers will tend to engage more with leaders in relationships where they know that they are more likely to influence the behaviors of their leaders. Otherwise, they will not want to follow that kind of leader because, one, they cannot engage. And if they cannot engage, there's no point following. All leaders were at some point followers. No one can be a leader without first being a follower. I usually tell people, show me a good leader, and I will show you somebody who was a very good follower. Because you cannot give what you don't have. If you have never followed before, then you can't lead people. It's difficult to lead people when you have not followed. And the quality of your following is going to affect the quality of your leading. When followers think critically and engage actively, they have a high potential of influencing and, of course, modifying the behaviors of their leaders. And they can do this significantly. So this just underscores how critical followership is in shaping the course of action, in shaping the behavior of leaders. So followers are important. They give legitimacy to leadership. They are the other face of the leadership coin. They make leaders effective and efficient. Without them, leadership will not succeed. Thank you for your time, but don't forget, before you go, to smash the subscribe button, share, and please send your questions if you have any. This is Take the Mic with Felix.